It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For cables, connectors, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by the Ham Station. Get your new radio or antenna by calling 800-729-4373 or go to hamstation.com.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. It's time for Ham Talk Live. It's episode number 77. The Quarter Century Wireless Association recorded live on Thursday, August 17th, 2017. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight we're joined by Ken Olkey, VE6AFO, and the president of the QCWA, and we'll take your calls live in just a few minutes. Last week, Dave Givens, K5RSI, was here to talk about the Huntsville Hamfest coming up this weekend, and if you missed that, you can listen anytime. Just go to hamtalklive.com, or you can go on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud, or you can even listen to us on YouTube. And this just in, today, this morning, I found out that Hammy, the Ham Talk Live mascot, is going to make an appearance at Huntsville on Saturday, so be sure to look for him and get your picture with him and send it to us. And if you're down there in Huntsville, make sure you say hi to Hammy. So he'll be wandering around on Saturday for a little bit. So that'll be nice. And get your questions ready to go about QCWA. And we're going to interview Ken here in a little bit. And then you can call us. And that number to call whenever I tell you it's time to call is 812-NET-HAM1, 812-638-4261. Or you can Skype us at Ham Talk Live. You can also tweet us at Ham Talk Live as well. So I'll be back with Ken right after this word from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you in part by Tower Electronics. Tower Electronics has been the Ham's dime store since 1978. When you need connectors, mobile and handheld antennas, cables, or adapters, visit Scott or Jill at a Hamfest near you. Or you can order online at pl-259.com or call 920-435-2973. Stock up on those supplies like PL259 and N connectors, SMA adapters, audio cables, soldering supplies, mobile antennas, and ham sticks. Their silver-plated N connectors are even used on the International Space Station. Tower Electronics carries MFJ, Comet, Daiwa, OPEC, Workman, and Ham Pro products. And don't miss their 0% off sale going on now. Tower Electronics, online at pl-259.com, proud to sponsor this episode of Ham Talk Live.
You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp. Yesterday, my XYL said she'd leave me if I didn't give up ham radio. Over.
Thanks to Scott and Jill at Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show once again. And they're going to be at Huntsville this weekend. Plan on seeing them and picking up some connectors from them. And you can too down in Huntsville, or you can give them a call at 920-435-2973. Also, they'll be in Shelby, North Carolina on September 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, so you can catch them there. You can also visit their website, pl-259.com. And again, the number to call them is 920-435-2973. And just tell them you heard it on Ham Talk Live, and look forward to seeing them this weekend. We're on the air every Thursday night at 9 p.m. right here at hamtalklive.com. Ken Olkey, VE6AFO, was born in Lacombe, Alberta, Canada, and became a radio amateur at the age of 15 in 1961 and received his call sign VE6AFO. He's been married to Linda Lou, VE6LGO, for the past 49 years and currently live in Calgary, Alberta. Ken's held several executive positions in CARA, ARLA, CRRL, and RAC. And he was the president of RAC from 1999 to 2001. And he became a director of QCWA in 2006. And he served as vice president from 2006 until 2008 and became president in 2012, and he's still serving in that capacity. Ken is an automotive service technician. He and his wife owned and operated an automobile service outlet for 20 years and then worked as a ground equipment technician for what's now known as Jazz Air. And Ken's a life member of the ARRL, the RAC, the QCWA, and a current member of CARA, SARA, CCC, and several QCWA local chapters. He enjoys rag chewing and volunteers at the military museums, demonstrating Morse code for school tour groups, and many, many other things. So, Ken, thanks for taking time out to be with us tonight on Ham Talk Live.
Well, thank you, Neil. It's a real pleasure being interviewed by a QCWA member, Neil.
Yeah.
I'm really proud to be on your show.
Well, thank you. And, I'm glad to be a QCWA member as well. And QCWA's been around for quite a while, so why don't you tell us a little history of how QCA was started and what the criteria is to become a member of QCWA.
Right, Neil. Well, first of all, I'd like to tell the audience that you yourself were standing by in the wings until you were licensed exactly 25 years. And
that
on the
true.
year, on January 1, you didn't even miss a day. On January 1, 2001, you joined the organization when you were licensed 25 years. And I'm sure our listeners may or may not know that you were a very young ham when you got into amateur radio at 5 years old. Now, about QCWA. Well, it all began during a 10-meter round table one Friday evening in November of 1947. Now, when you think back, in 1947, the sunspot numbers were up around 210 as compared to today of sunspot is about 11. So imagine 10 meters was pretty hot. Although these were local amateurs in New York, the state in New York, who were, I think, talking amongst themselves. So they were licensed 25 years, and they came up with this idea. We've been licensed 25 years. Maybe we should start an organization for those who were licensed 25 years or more. So the idea originated with this 10-meter round table. And by December 5 of 1947, a meeting was held in the upstairs room of Papa's Restaurant on 14th Street in New York City. Gathered were 34 young men who unknowingly were going to make amateur radio wireless history. And of course that history today, and we're celebrating our 70th anniversary this year, is the Quarter Century Wireless Association. And that's how it all started, Neil.
All right, very good. So the big requirement is that you've been licensed for the 25 years, and I think actually it was a little bit earlier because I think the rule is the year of that happening. So if I remember right, I got in at age 29. I wasn't quite 30 yet.
Well, that's correct. We take the year that you were licensed, not necessarily the month. So you could have been licensed in December of that year, but you can join in January. Okay. And I might add, you do not need to be continuously licensed. Some got their novices and didn't upgrade, therefore lost their license, and then come back into amateur radio later. And we count that first year you got your novice license, so it doesn't have to necessarily be 25 years continuous.
Okay, very good. Well, QCWA has been pretty active in a lot of efforts to help ham radio, and we're going to talk about some of those tonight. And the first is the youth activities, and my friend Carol Perry, WB2MGP, is involved with some of that. And one of the things that QCWA has taken on in the recent years is the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award winner. And Carol announced the winner this year right here on Ham Talk Live. And we're honored to have this year's winner. He's going to be calling here in just a minute, and we'll have him on here. So tell us about the youth activities, and then we'll talk to Ryan here in just a second.
Yeah, you bet, Neil. When I took the chair of president in 2012, my goal was to have QCWA reach out to our young amateur radio operators and youth. As you know, Neil, we have a terrific scholarship program, and each year we have a lot of applicants. For 2017, we had 24 applicants and awarded $36,000 in that program. But I felt we needed to be a little more outreaching, and when Carol Perry came aboard as director of QCWA, and I knew of her, of course, past, engaged with youth for many, many years, I decided I should start a standing committee in QCWA known as the Youth Activities. And I have Carol chairing that, naturally, along with some good committee members who understand youth. So with that, some of the programs that we'd like to support are like Young Hams or Young Hams Lend a Hand, of which you're going to have Ryan there. We just recently had the board approve a donation to our the YDXA, the Youth DX Activities, the Youth DX Association, for their goals to send young amateurs on expeditions. So there's thus what we have been doing in the past few years there, Neil.
Yeah, they just got back from Costa Rica and had a chance to talk to some of those guys on the Youth DX adventure down there, and was glad to hear them on the air, and they were getting some good pile-ups while they were down there. Well, the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award winner, Ryan Cutshall, KD9DAB, is on the line with us tonight. So let's talk a little bit about the award and what he did and how he received that. Good evening, Ryan.
Howdy, Neil. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Yeah, so Ken, go ahead and talk a little bit about the award here.
Yes, Ryan. Good to talk with you in person, and I can't recall whether we met at Carol Perry's Youth Forum there or not. Do you recall meeting me?
I don't believe so. I haven't been able to make a youth forum in the past couple of years. I've been to Dayton. I've been to the instructor forums I was there 2 years ago. I couldn't make Dayton this year, unfortunately. So it's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you for the first time. I appreciate it.
Yes, and I'm sure Neil's going to ask you, but with regard to what you actually did to become a recipient of the Young Ham Lends a Hand, but QCWA was pleased to be able to sponsor that, and we're pleased that you're the winner there, Ryan.
Yeah, I really appreciate the nod there, and I was kind of caught by surprise because Neil just kind of told me after I won that he had nominated me, but Neil, do you want me to just kind of explain now what?
Yeah, go ahead and talk a little bit about
okay.
what you did.
Yeah, so back whenever I was with Neil's club a couple years back, it really started with the whole service mentality. We had a librarian from one of the local elementary schools contact us because she knew we were into amateur radio, and one of the books they were reading to fifth graders, I believe they were, it talks about amateur radio. Well, most of these kids don't know what that is. So she wanted to kind of have a hands-on experience, get them into the book and into the technology. So she actually contacted Neil, and Neil had me go. And for 2 years, I went and gave a presentation to about 80 little elementary school kids. I brought handhelds, and I put up the Slinky antenna and gave them a kind of a rough go-around of what amateur radio is and what we do with it, and just really got them all interested. And it was really cool to see all their faces light up and all of that, because whenever I would take the feed line for the Slinky, I would put it in their hand, and of course I had the radio off and everything, and I'd say, "You're the antenna now," and they thought that was so cool that they're like, "Wow, I'm the antenna," because normally you think of, your vertical that's up on the roof, and I was like, "Nope, you're my antenna right now." And so they were loving it. They loved every bit of that. So I got to do that for 2 years, and that was really, really cool, and I really enjoyed that. And then also I've been active just in volunteering in general, but also trying to incorporate radio within my service. I just got certified as an EMT nationally and in the state of Indiana. And so last year, before that, I was a first aider for a local EMS club at IU. And so we were, so that was all volunteer based, and I was kind of working on getting communications set up for them, just so that whenever we do run events such as the Little 500 bike race, we can be able to communicate easier, and the end goal is to provide better public safety. And so by volunteering and doing that, and then trying to get the radio involved in that, just all of that's kind of what I feel like got me the award. I've never really fully talked about what I've done. I guess Neil saw everything in me, and I guess you guys saw a lot of it in me also.
Yeah, and you were also pretty instrumental in helping other students get on, and some people at Field Day. You were helping a blind ham, and you helped him learn how to use the radio. And that
was very cool. Yeah, it was 3 years ago at Field Day. Me and couple friends that I brought out. They weren't into ham radio, but I told them, come out here. We can pull an all-nighter out at the park and talk to a bunch of people. So they decided to come. And as we're running the GOTA station, Neil pulls up a older gentleman, and he was visually impaired, and he wanted to get into radio. And not only did he just kind of want to do like VHF, UHF, handhelds and stuff like that, but he wanted to do HF. He wanted to be with the big guys. And we weren't going to let his disability stop him from that. And so by using the voice readout of the frequency and that on one of the radios, he was able to make contacts on the GOTA station, just sitting right there. And whenever he started making runs, and his face whenever he saw that he could do something that everyone else was doing, it was great to see. And eventually he was able to get a radio and get his license, and he's on the air somewhere.
Yeah, and you've helped set up a lot of things, and even crawled through my attic in a couple of 100 degrees. So Ryan's done a lot for that, and Ken, I know QCWA has sponsored this for a good while, and I thank you for sponsoring that, because Ryan here was very deserving, as have been the past award winners, and Ryan's just the latest example of that.
Indeed,
Yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, indeed. I'm pleased to actually hear right from Ryan's own words what he did to earn this. He worked hard for that stipend, and the previous award winners too. I know they did great things, and that's the reason they got the Young Ham Lends a Hand Award there, Neil.
Yeah, so that's just another example of some of the things that the QCWA is involved with. And Ryan, thanks for coming on and talking about it, and congratulations again. And very deserving, and have a good second year at Indiana University.
Thank you very much, Neil. Thanks for having me on again. Look forward to calling in again. And Ken, thank you very much again. And I just want to say thank you to not just you, but the CQWA, because you guys have been doing a lot for youth and radio, which, I mean, I'm huge into. And just seeing more and more hams care about the younger generation, it's really inspiring, and it really keeps me going, just having all the support that you guys give all of us younger hams. So I just wanted to personally say thank you for everything you do and what your organization does.
Well, thank you ever so much for your kind words, Ryan. And with that, before you leave, I encourage you to continue applying for QCWA scholarships.
Will do, yeah. And I mean, I'm not in this for the money or anything like that. I mean, we're all in this because we love the hobby, and we just want to keep it going. So just keep doing the great things you guys are doing. It's encouraging to all of us, and thank you for everything.
Thank you.
All right, Ryan Cutshaw, K89 DAB 73s, and we'll see you, and we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, 73. Thanks, Neil.
All right. Well, before we go to break, there's one other thing, Ken, I want to talk about, and that's QCWA made a donation to the International Space Station for the ARIS program on the International Space Station for getting that radio replaced. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, well, you're right, Neil. When QCWA was reading online and the pleas for donations to support and supply a new radio to replace the broken Ericsson, which is used extensively for school contacts. And I might share with you, Neil, that I myself personally have been involved with 5 school contacts with the International Space Station, the first one being 2005. I can't believe all these years have gone by already. And I put it to the board that this is something that I believe QCWA should support. It's our youth. The youth are very influenced by speaking with the International Space Station from schools, because I've experienced it. And so we decided it was a good idea to donate for this cause. So yes, QCWA made a significant donation, and we're very proud and pleased of the, I guess you might say, the accolades we got for their support. We keep hearing about it all the time, Neil.
Yeah, it's a big project, and glad that you guys were able to help out on that. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back, and we'll open up the phone lines. We'll open up for calls here and talk a little more about the QCWA with Ken right after this word on Ham Talk Live. Whether you're traveling to a ham fest, a public service event, a radio club meeting, or you're even at work, on vacation, or at a sporting event, we want to see where you're having fun this summer. And to make it even more fun, take a picture at that place with Flat Hammy. Flat Hammy is a printable version of the Ham Talk Live mascot, Hammy, VE1BCN. So just download the picture, print it out, and take it with you. Snap a picture with Flat Hammy in it, and then send it to us on social media or by email. The directions are right there next to Flat Hammy. And watch our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds for fun pictures of Flat Hammy all summer long. To print out your copy of Flat Hammy, just go to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram feed, or you can go to hamtalklive.com and click on the link to the show schedule. You'll see the link to Flat Hammy at the top of the page. Enjoy the summer with Ham Radio, Flat Hammy, and Ham Talk Live.
Oh, yeah. You're talking ham radio, baby. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Join the conversation. Call us on voice with Skype at Ham Talk Live, or give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live.
And welcome back to Ham Talk Live, and Flat Hammy pictures have been coming in all over the place. And we just got some from that Youth DX adventure down there in Costa Rica, so be sure to check those out on our social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we get on Google Plus once in a while, too. Just search for Ham Talk Live on there. And remember, not only will Flat Hammy be at Huntsville, but the real Hammy will be at Huntsville this weekend. So if you're there, make sure you get a picture with him there as well. And we'll have Flat Hammy around, too. So anyway, it's time for your calls now. And we've got a couple of new people on the chat here, and want to welcome them, and thanks for tuning us in tonight. But if you have a question for Ken or a comment, now's the time to call. So let me give you that phone number again. It's 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. You can give us a call. You can also Skype us if you'd rather Skype. We're at Ham Talk Live, or you can send us a tweet over at Ham Talk Live as well. And we'll be talking to Ken here for another 15 minutes or so. So if you get a chance, why give us a call or tweet, or any of those would be fine. And Dr. Scott Wright, K0MD, says congratulations to Ryan on the award from QCWA, and good luck with the studies at IU. So that's from our friend Dr. Scott Wright. So again, the number is 812-638-4261. That spells NET-HAM1 in area code 812. So give us a call and chime in here. And Ken, let's talk about some of the other things that QCWA does. I know you've got a tremendous publication that that goes out all the time. And so tell us a little bit more of some of what QCWA does for its members.
Well, you're right. The printed magazine was replaced about 5 years ago now. The printed magazine was a quarterly, and it was replaced with a digital monthly. It consists of about 22 to 24 pages a month. A lot of it is chapter reports from our various chapters worldwide, and we always are looking for feature articles. We have some good ones in there. And one thing that this was created some years ago, we have an excellent members-only web page. And like they say, membership has privileges, so we allow it for members to get in behind and look at what we have all archived. We have a lot of history archived there, and past QCWA journals with a lot of history there. Other efforts, as I explained before, we have a terrific scholarship program that is probably one of QCWA's strongest elements that we can brag about. And of course, you have to be a licensed amateur radio operator to apply. It's administered by the Foundation for Amateur Radio, FAR, in Maryland, and they administer that program, and we just provide the funds for the ones that they choose, the applicants that receive the scholarship awards. Also, our local chapters roles, interestingly, back in the early days of QCWA, there were no chapters. It was everything based in the state of New York, and there was members who are outside of New York were starting to wonder how they could be more closely involved. People like in California wouldn't be making a trip to New York for a meeting, because all the meetings were held in New York at the time. So hence, our chapters started. Our first chapter was Chapter 1 in Cleveland, Ohio. And we have 224 chartered chapters, of which not all are active. About 110 are active. There's a lot that have come and gone, but they still remained. The chapter number is never, ever reassigned. So we rely heavily on our chapters to, I guess, be our about the word advertising for QCWA and to bring in more members. So, and I might say our largest chapter overseas is the Chapter 106 in Germany. They're a very huge chapter with many members. So great support from that group, Neil. And as I just start my next 3-year term in September as president, I'm always got my thinking cap on what other efforts QCWA can support. I've always got my mind open, and I'd like to present these ideas to the board. And of course, it's everything, as in every organization, is democratically run. So if the board says yes, then it's a go. If the board says no, then we have to come up with a different idea.
All right, very good. Well, give us a call. 812-NET, HAM1 is the number, 812-638-4261. We have time to take your calls, so give us a call and join us here tonight, talking about the Quarter Century Wireless Association. And Ken, if there's somebody out there listening that has been a ham for 25 years and they haven't got around to joining QCWA, and I know we talked about this the other day, that you had some that just joined and they'd been hams for I don't know, 50 years or something, and they hadn't joined. So if there's somebody out there that's been a ham for 25 years and eligible for membership, what would you say to them to have interest in joining QCWA?
Well, that is a good question, Neil, and I would say this. The Quarter Century Wireless Association may not be for everyone, but I might say that if you're active in amateur radio and you're doing things and you've been licensed 25 years or more, I believe it's an organization that you should support. I might say the membership has multiple year membership, and if you do 3-year membership, it's only $18.30 a year. So in that regard, it's fairly economical to belong to QCWA. And once you belong, I might say that you're going to share membership with some very important people that are shakers and movers in amateur radio. I could name a lot, but it would take me all night and I would miss somebody important. But like Neil. I could mention Neil. Neil being a QCWA member. And I think if you try it, I think you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy our digital magazine. And I know there's writers out there. We're looking forward to your articles. We could use a lot of articles to spruce up the magazine, the digital version, that is. So, and it's easy to join QCWA. We have a website that you can get to, www.qcwa.org. We have a big button up at the top there. It says join/renew. You can do that online, either with any of your credit cards, or if you have a PayPal account, you can use that. And or if you prefer to just download the application, fill it in, and mail in a check to our treasurer, that's acceptable too. So there's several ways you can get involved quickly.
Okay, so there you go, qcwa.org, and you can check that out online. And you guys have had some booths at some different places. Can you think of any of those off the top of your head, Hamfest, that they may see some QCWA information?
Indeed. Well, the two largest ones, I guess the largest one, Dayton Hamvention, which is now in Xenia. We are always there. And we are always at Hamcation in Orlando, Florida, and that's in February. And we have some chapters that also put up a QCWA table. For example, at Seaside, Oregon, at that convention, in fact, I was there this year, Chapter 108 always has a table there. A great venue. That was an interesting convention. I've heard so much about it, and I was pleased to get there. Also, Huntsville, my memory has gone blank. There's one coming up in October on the coast of Florida. Our office manager will be there. So, and the chapters who actually get out and shake and move, like myself here in Calgary, Alberta, we have Chapter 151. We are always we don't have any big conventions around here, but we are always at every flea market that is going on. So we put up a QCWA booth there and give out brochures and pamphlets and information on what QCWA is and how to join it.
Okay, so there you go. There's some places you can check out, and of course the website, and you can learn what QCWA is doing and get involved. And again, Ken, I want to thank you for coming on the show and for sponsoring the scholarships and all the youth activities, because that's one of the things that I'm involved in, and so I see the fruits of that labor quite often. And the Young Ham lends a hand award and all those kinds of things. So and Eris. And so thank you so much for helping support those activities and for coming on the show.
Very good, Neil. Thank you very much for having me. And I actually was surprised when I got this email from you asking if I would be a guest on your show. So I'm really privileged, and I'm proud to be able to be on your show. And I wish you all the luck in your Ham Talk Live.
All right, very good. Well, that is Ken Olkey, VE6AFO, the president of the Quarter Century Wireless Association, and that is a wrap for this week's Ham Talk Live. So thanks to Ken, and thanks to Ryan, KD9DAB, for being here tonight, and everybody out there in cyberspace for listening and tweeting and chatting tonight. We had some people in the chat, so that was good too. So we invite you all back next Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I need to double check with Matt, but we've got on the schedule Matt Deutsch, N0RGT. He's the chief engineer at WWV, and there's some new things going on at WWV, and so he's going to talk to us about that. We've been trying to get him on for a while, and hopefully next week that's the plan. So that's hopefully what we'll have for you next week. But you can always check our website, hamtalklive.com. Click on the show schedule link, and that'll give you the latest list of all of our upcoming guests, and you can see what's coming up in the future. So check that out. So for now, this is Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, saying 7375. Hope to see you in Huntsville this weekend if you're going, and may the good DX be yours.
Well, you came right back to my CQ call. Your readability 5 and strength 9. You never once mentioned your weather at all, and I didn't mention mine. We talked and talked for hours and hours. I completely forgot you're a ham. I don't know your power or the height of your tower, and frankly, I don't give a damn. So 73s to you and your family. I'll be seeing you further down the log. Your 73s to you and your family. I'll be seeing you further down the log. It's hard to believe that you're anti-VD, 'cause you sound just like a local up here. But why don't those whistling Mediterraneans check it with frequencies clear? We're warm and cozy in our shacks, and we have talked about thousands of things. About shoes, about ships, about sealing wax, about cabbages and kings. So 73s to you and your family. I'll be seeing you further down the log. Your 73s to you and your family. I'll be seeing you further down the log.